we have we have the Four Wands in reverse. So that would be a reversal of not a stable living environment. Some of you guys could be thinking of the fact that you won't be having a stable living environment, that you'll be losing a home, losing a house, losing stability, losing a foundation. Upright, it talks about a foundation, also talks about marriage. Some of you guys could be getting divorced or losing a marriage or divorcing someone. But it's Aries energy. Upright, as it talks about building, growing, solid foundation, community, right? Because when you get married, it's a lot of facets involved. Everyone comes together with community building. But when it's in reverse, there's a lot of drama, chaos, fighting, destruction, and it affects stability. Because when people are fighting and chaotic, they don't want to be around each other. Everyone goes off to do their own thing, and then the ball is dropped, as you can see. And literally the moon is like, if looking at the card in reverse, it falls. And but the sun rises. So, maybe some of you guys need to do that. Maybe that's what you're guided to do. Not sure. So you take it how it resonates for you. I ain't telling nobody to go out and get divorced, okay? I ain't trying to mess up nobody's household, okay? But you have wisdom, knowledge on your situation. So yes. We have Death in reverse, so that's that Scorpio energy. Talks about unchanging cycles, refusing to change, trying to avoid sudden change, not ending patterns, habits, or so that may be needed to be ended, because Death talks about transformation. So if you need to go through a transformation in order to heal yourself, your refusal to go through that transformation and stop doing the things that keep putting you in that position will definitely affect you. And Shawn Mendes, There's Nothing Holding Me Back, came on as the song. So he says, I want to follow where she goes. I think about her and she knows it. I want to let her take control, because every time she gets close, she pulls me in enough to keep me guessing. And maybe I should stop and start confessing. So maybe some of you guys need to get real with yourself, that you've been letting a pattern go on for longer than necessary and you can't end it. So now that you know you're vulnerable to it, then what do you do? And then it's like, do you keep doing it? Because you repeat the same habits, you're going to get the same results. And then we had the Knight of Pentacles. I don't know if it was upright or upside down, but I'll discuss both. This is Earth energy, talks about stability, talking about groundedness, reliability, consistency, a routine. Okay, so upright, it is somebody stable, reliable, consistent. It can also talk about, you could also be thinking about an Earth child you have, an Earth child that is Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Some of you guys could be expecting one. As I mentioned before, a younger child, a baby. Some of you guys could be, this could also signify toddlers as well as teenagers, depending on their level, and you would know as a parent their level of maturity as they learn and grow up. Are they consistently stubborn and trying to do what they want, and you having to correct them? Or are they consistently reliable and showing you even at young ages of their maturity level? And that's when they graduate basically to the page energy. Upside down, it mentions a loss of a routine, loss of stability, loss of reliability, and it also can indicate extreme stubbornness to a point where loss of income, wealth, and prosperity, loss of income, wealth, and prosperity for you, for a child, loss of a child. So if that's the case, I really apologize, and if that's why you need some healing, then I really apologize for that. So things happen. We don't know when we're going to leave. So you definitely live life and cherish it as if it's your last. But don't live in the moment. You still have to plan and trust that when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But you also can't live in the moment and neglect the realities that life is going to require of you. Because if you take care of everything and set everything up in a way, whenever it is your time, the ones that's left behind, you won't have to worry about if they're suffering, or you won't, leave unexpectedly with at least nothing in place and leave those that's left behind suffering. Of course, you're gone, you're probably not going to be worried about that, at that stage, because there's nothing you could do. You're not here in this plane. However, you have to consider that, like those who's left behind, what will be left for them. So if you plan for it and you have a vision for it now, and you put those facets in place and be upright, reliable, stable, consistent, and it could even be saving little by little, saving for yourself, saving for a child, saving for something. Then at the end of it, like if you save, I did a money challenge actually, and that money challenge was just like, I saw it on TikTok, or my mom saw it on TikTok, and she mentioned to me. My mom is a Sag, which is interesting because it came out in the overall. But I'm being guided to reveal this to you. So she told me to do this money challenge, and basically it was me putting up money every little by little every day. So you do what you feel like is best for you, but putting aside money, maybe taking a percentage off of your paychecks and setting aside and then forgetting about it, so that there is something left over, because otherwise you'll just be living paycheck to paycheck. And then if you were to leave unexpectedly, those who are relying on that paycheck that's not going to be coming ends up losing the stability or any kind of potential stability that existed, especially if you're the breadwinner. Okay, overall we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so loss of stability, financial wealth, abundance, could be loss of a child, as I mentioned before, a earth child. Once again, loss of prosperity. And then we have it upright, where it is prosperous. It is solidifying earth energy, grounded. I tend to look at this as Capricorn energy, so you can be dealing with or have that in your chart, but upside down, maybe you could be releasing a toxic bound soul contract, these indicates, because if you think of it, a lot in the tarot, the most high is signified for the Hierophant energy, which is Taurus, and if that makes the most high King of Pentacles, then some of you guys have to work on getting your soul in alignment with the Most High, because then that will put you upright. If it is the loss of a child, though, aside from that, I apologize, and I'm so sorry to hear that. Very sorry for your loss. Just know that, take it in stride and in steps of that you did the best you can. And even though we don't understand why those things happen, just know that your child doesn't have to suffer in this world. And I know that's like whatever, nobody wants to hear that, right? But think about it, and think about the things that you've been through in your life, and imagine if your child had to go through those things. A lot of us want better for our children, so they don't have to experience those things. So just take it in that sense of like, you know what? It was probably it could have been for the best. That could have been saving my child from something even more traumatic and terrible that they could have experienced in life. And that was an intervention on the Most High's behalf to take that child basically away from something even more traumatic that would have happened in the future. We don't know what the future is, but the Most High, only the Most High knows that. So if the Most High designed it that your child was taken away, it was probably for the best, and we don't always understand that, and we don't have to, because we're not the Most High. Okay, Four of Swords in reverse indicates restlessness. Okay, indicates a lack of sleep, a lack of self-awareness, and so that lack, and this is Libra energy in reverse, indicates that your life is not balanced. You can't sleep, and when you can't sleep, it can create delusion and very paranoid behavior, because you're not properly resting. Okay, and the body needs rest. Okay, so upright, it talks about also self-reflection, recuperation, right? And it talks about taking a break, taking a step back, reevaluating life. But upside down, I already explained. And then we had the King of Pentacles in reverse. Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energy in reverse, meaning a loss of status. Some of you guys could be getting divorced. You're no longer loyal, stable, committal to a situation. No longer the breadwinner. No longer taking care of the situation, no longer feeling that you need to provide your loyalty to a situation that's not in your highest good. So that puts you out of alignment right now. Maybe some of you guys lost finances significantly. That shattered your appearance or status, okay? You got to be careful because the King of Pentacles in reverse indicates somebody who's very status driven, very reckless with their money, irresponsible, not grounded, not realistic, not budgetary, just wasteful, and it affects their abundance, okay? Because he falls off the throne. He's supposed to be standing, but he's falling, but doesn't know that, because in a sense, it's like everything that when it comes to outward appearances was placed into that outward appearance, so that when that outward appearance falls, they don't know how to recuperate themselves, okay? So you have to, being upright, step into your power, ground yourself, and be realistic about what's within your power financially wise. Also talks about getting in alignment with yourself, because abundance happens through spirit first, spiritual alignment first. Otherwise, you may think upside down because you're not really grounded enough to see that you're actually losing more finances. And you can't see that because you're not in alignment. That's why you're upside down. So you're very money driven, very greedy, right? Very unsatisfied, never fulfilled financially. But as long as you stay out of alignment, you'll always be that way, okay? It's a revolving cycle, because you're just falling. You're falling, and you'll just keep losing more and more and more until it's gone. And if you have no actual support to be supportive to you, then if you're the breadwinner and you fall, that's the people left behind live in cycles of poverty, okay? Overall, we have the devil in reverse. Capricorn energy in reverse can indicate loss of toxic habits, shedding addictions, shedding toxic behaviors. If you are Capricorn and have that in your chart, I tell people, I'm a Capricorn sun, and a lot of people misuse this energy, but like I tell them, when it comes to spirituality, the Most High, his son was a Capricorn. If he was born on Christmas, that's Capricorn season, okay? So what it also can indicate that, that you have a loss of focus, a loss of detail orientedness, a loss of maybe you've lost some contracts. It could be and there are good and bad contracts, okay? So some of you guys, with it being in reverse, you could have signed on or accepted some bad contracts and some bad deals, okay? And because you weren't focused and detail oriented enough to know what you were getting yourself into, and use your spiritual guidance and knowledge and groundedness to understand the actual situation of it. Because Capricorn energy upright, we are very good at being very detail oriented. And if you think of the devil, to be honest, operates in contracts. And if you think of the Bible with the Most High, you have to be very careful about the type of contracts you're entering to. In fact, the Most High Son requests that you enter into a contract with him by being marked by him. That's why this energy is shared both by light energy, and then there's a dark energy form of it. And that's why there's two snakes, because the devil is what? The greatest illusionist ever, the deceiver, okay? So there's two pathways you can take. That's where there's a bound with in the original Rider-Waite Tarot, there's two individuals bound together by a chain. That's typically a contract, a karmic toxic contract, but it can also be a contract with the Most High that frees you from this, frees you from bondage, because you choose the mark of the Most High for elevation of your life. And that comes with that, because you're in spiritual alignment, especially as a Capricorn, you have to be upright in order to obtain financial abundance. That's your birthright when it comes to grounding yourself, okay? So you have to be realistic. If you're in reverse and you have this in your chart, and it's a very prominent part in your chart, you have to be careful, because people can be deceiving you in telling you, trying to get you to enter into a contract, you need to go through the details of it. Because what is this? What comes out of this contract? What do they get? What do they seek to gain? What do you actually gain? Okay? And is this a tit for tat? Who benefits the most from it? Those are detailed questions that we're always honing into before we get into anything. And that's why I say King and Queen of Pentacles, that is very detail hone oriented. And that higher fine energy, is it of your spiritual highest good? For you, if you're entering to a contract with the Most High, being loyal, stable, committal, your birthright being abundance, is that something that benefits the community? Will it be able to benefit the community? Can you share the wealth, or is it just greed and it's only going to benefit one person, everyone else, whatever, and it's filled with selfishness out of, as I see the other cards, seduction. Somebody trying to seduce you to throw caution to the wind when you might need to take your time on that. Okay, and that's why the Knight of Pentacles came out, and that was also in reverse. So you definitely want to be careful about somebody trying to get you to throw away your stability, throw away your reliability, throw away your consistency. Okay, because that will affect people's outlook on you in life overall, and they'll see you as just someone who's all about status and money, and you don't care about other people, because it's not genuine. It's only out of selfish greed and gain to benefit someone else. And then your question is, well, if I have to benefit you, what do you have to offer? What do you bring to the table? This contract seems very one-sided. You think about it in terms of consumer protection. Are you being protected? Okay, when it comes to this contract, or is it just all for this one person out of seduction? Okay, so be careful of that. Are you being deceived? Because as I mentioned, the devil is the great deceiver. Okay, and he deceived everyone by putting the devil card as Capricorn energy when the Most High Sun was a Capricorn. So you will do the Hidden Truth Oracle. Okay, which I find very convenient, but they both talk about contracts. Are you taking the mark of the beast, or are you taking the mark of the Most High? And the devil, as the great deceiver, loves to copy off of the good, positive blessings of the Most High and turn them into something wicked and insidious, and then try to feed it to you as if it's something positive when it's actually something negative out of self-gain for, as we mentioned, these thirst buckets, energy vampires. Okay, because, what do you get out of it? What do they get out of it? They seek to gain more. Okay, because they have really nothing that they're actually offering. It's one-sided. So, okay, try to make sure this stays. You can somewhat see the cards here, but I'm trying to shuffle, of course, in so everybody can see. I'm gonna put this next deck down here. So there we go. Okay. Sorry. Yep, and so there we go. The chaoticness. But you still gonna get this message, okay? There we go. So I'll just shuffle here. Never ceases to amaze. Okay. I'm doing a Hidden Truth Oracle. Okay, so my 3D overall, we have in the soul space, we need to let each other go. So maybe that's what some of you guys are doing introspection about. I couldn't let you get close to me in the mind space, and I look for you everywhere. Okay, so you have to be careful of that addiction, of like letting your addictions overtake you, because you are not dealing with, you're avoiding the pain of a loss, and you can't cover that up with drinks, drugs, addictions, toxicity, even relationships, friendships, or otherwise partnerships. They're just cover-ups. Eventually, when the cover is blown, the relationship doesn't work out, it blows up because you're putting too much into that other person. You're back where you started, and then therein starts the cycle of the on and off again relationships, on and off again friendships, and therefore thereof and therefore, because you're not healing the traumas, you're putting a band-aid on it, and every time the band-aid is ripped off, you're trying to go back towards it, and then the band-aid's ripped off, and then you go back, but you're never actually sitting with yourself and healing those and reflecting on, well, why does this keep happening the way it happens, and why do I keep going through this cycle, or why do I keep going through this with this person? And the biggest thing you refuse to face is like, is this person really good for me? Is it time for me to just let it go? Because the death is in reverse. Am I really gaining anything from here? Is it really actually stable, or does it have the appearance of being stable, the appearance and the status of, oh, well, you see, I was doing X, Y, and Z. But after a certain point, people are going to look at you crazy because, like, you're not living your authentic self. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that if it doesn't serve your highest good? For other people to what? Give you, what, cookies? Or what? Candy, cake? What are they supposed to be giving you for you self-sacrificing yourself unnecessarily? If it doesn't serve you and it's not for you, let it go. I knew exactly what I was doing. Okay? So some of you guys know. And it's time for you to release that bondage. Okay? So, and some of you guys, it looks like you're doing that. You're having an understanding. So proud of you for that. Okay, and then we have Treat You Better by Shawn Mendes, which popped up as the next one. I'm not playing the music because, you know, YouTube deems song by creators if they haven't gave permission. So I'm just like, I'll avoid that altogether. So we are doing the Tarot of the Orishas, okay? Actually, I'm going to add in, well, not add in because I already had it out. I'm actually going to do a love spread, right? On your soul, mind, and body 3D, okay? This is my creative love oracle, okay? So I will do this, but I'm mainly focused in on self-love, okay? Because only can you love yourself and know your worth before you can truly love someone else and understand their worth. And, you know, and you have to get clear and have self-awareness to do that. Otherwise, you'll always be trying to feed off other people and allow them to feed off of you and emptying your own cup. You can't, you know, fill up someone else's cup if your cup is empty. But at the same time, if their cup is empty, then all it is that it creates that back and forth cycle of giving, love, taking, give and take, give and take, give and take. But there's no equality in it because it's not equal giving. Some person in those toxic relationships, narcissistic, empath relationships, somebody's always taking more. Okay, so mind and 3D. And usually it's the empath that's taking the emotional hit. The narcissistic really doesn't care. And so after they get what they want, they discard. And then they come back and discard and come back because they always think they can find better. It's an ego trip, right? Narcissists. They're so worried about themselves, their self-satisfaction, what they can get out of it. It's not about you. And so when they don't get their way, they act very callous, cruel, and childish because it's a level of immaturity, but they don't want the cat out of the bag, basically. So as long as you keep feeding into it, they'll keep serving it to you hard, cold, and fast until you decide you don't want to take the shaft and you stand your ground, assert yourself, and live in your authenticity, okay? Patience, letting go of desperation is important now. Love will not pass you by. Everything is in divine timing. This card also indicates a time of non-action, stillness in a relationship, okay? So letting each other go and having patience with going through the process. As you're letting someone go, you have to be careful with that Knight of Swords energy because that indicates your soul kind of wants to run and, do something, whereas you really need to kind of allow the process to happen, okay? Because as I mentioned, love is not going to pass you by. You don't need to be desperate. Red flags, okay, mentally. Don't overlook the warning signs regarding a situation. Someone may act in a very negative and destructive way. Is it really healthy for you? Stop. And that's, I couldn't let you get close to me, okay? So yeah, because there's red flags. So your soul, your mind are automatically going to react to that, whether or not you actually say it, because actions speak louder than words. Your soul and mind are always going to react. Your soul, mind, body, and spirit are always going to react to something, no matter what. Like you say, no matter how long you spend with somebody, if you know that there's red flags and this is in your mental space, you're never going to be able to allow them to get close to you, because they can't. There is a lack of understanding. There's a lack of connection. Okay, it's just a forced like pattern, routine, and habit, which you need to let go of. Chemistry. There is mutual attraction between you and another person. Sexual attraction and passion are very strong. Both of you are attracted to each other like magnets. Okay, but you have to be careful for confusing chemistry, sexual attraction, and that magnetic attraction of when you first see someone, that endorphin, serotonin kind of feeling, um, from love, okay? Because it's patient, kind, not envious and boastful, 1 Corinthians, okay? So you have to be careful with that. Overall, children. This card signifies innocence in your inner child. Being playful, curious is important for you right now. This card also says that children play a part in your love life. There's a possibility of getting pregnant or a new beginning on the horizon. So as I mentioned, some of you guys may be considering having another child. For those of you who lost a child and you are healing, once again, I strongly, very sad and to hear that. This indicates that children are involved. So if that's the case, you know, some of you guys could be coming out of that phase and it's making you restless to get back out there. You have to release toxic habits so that you want to attract that same type of, relationship, or toxicity or toxic phase. And when you bring children in the world, children are blessings, but it depends on how you go about it with the blessings, because your actions in this world can curse your children, okay, and give them generational curses and habits to break, because they operate off a guidepost. Their guidepost is their parents. If you don't give them a solid foundation and help them out because you refuse to deal with your own self-esteem issues, then that usually feeds off into them, because they're watching what you're doing. They're not really listening to what you're saying, especially if what you're saying doesn't align with what you're doing. If your actions and your words don't align, you really think they're going to take you seriously? Would you take yourself seriously? Would you take anyone else seriously if they said, hey, for example, hey, be humble. If you're always telling your kid, be humble, you can't have this right now, be humble. There's kids out here who don't have it, and then you turn around and go out and buy yourself an unnecessary motorcycle. So your kid is sitting there watching you like, you just said be humble, and then you just bought something unnecessary because I can't even ride on this motorcycle. So how is this even supposed to work? So that's being very unrealistic. Oh, but you get to show off for your friends. And so as you're riding your motorcycle, they see you roll up the street to their house every day on your motorcycle, looking good, smelling good, feeling good, and marching around, man or woman, okay, masculine or feminine, but they don't have shoes, or they're always being told no for this or no for that. And so yes, you have to have a proper balance when it comes to self-care and taking care of your children, your responsibilities. But if you say be humble, then maybe there are some things that you sacrifice. And then a lot of people should get very keen on communication, but communication that's in alignment. Hey, you know what, I always wanted to buy a motorcycle, but right now you're about to go back to school. So I'm going to buy your school clothes, but let's make a pact. You get good grades and this, that, and other. I will get you this or take you here. So maybe we can't do this right now, but we will be able to do it later if you keep up your end of the deal. That's what I mentioned about contractors. So it's like ways that you can, as a Capricorn, ways that you can negotiate in a sense with your children. And you say, you know what, I sacrificed something. I wanted a motorcycle and I'm not going to be able to get it because what's more important is this. So your child has now a mutual understanding that, hey, you know, I have to sacrifice something. I can't get that item that I want right now, self-gratification, quick gratification, immediate gratification. But if I do X, Y, and Z, good behavior, then I get a reward. And you do that for yourself. Hey, if I go to work, I be consistent, I maintain myself, do my self-care, I take care of my body, then you know, and I save up my money, then I can get them a motorcycle and get my kid a reward. So at that time, we both get something. And now your child has just learned positive actions lead to what? A positive reward. You can reward yourself when you've taken care of responsibilities, okay? Accountability. So this is the Orisha Tarot I mentioned before. It's a little it's different also from the Rider-Waite, so I will also do 3, and this is for, I believe it's going to clarify the hidden truth and the love oracle, okay? And I will also do being told 2. So on this one, okay, in the overall, so here we have 2 of Fire, talks about pathways, journeys, 2 paths to take, making a decision, planning, preparation, foresight, because the person is at the door, and there's 2 paths, and you see the lions on here, but this is actually Aries energy, but it's fire energy. So some of you guys are getting fired up to take your path, but there's 2 paths you could take. There's a door here in the middle, but it has, like, if you look, 2 window panes that look like they're the same, right? In this picture, there is 2 paths. On this side, you have the moon. On this side, there's no moon. On this side, you have like a male lion. On this side, you have a female lioness, right? And this is Aries energy, as I mentioned before. There's 2 paths you can take, possibly. You go through that door. It's possible this side of the door opens or that side of the door opens. Or you could walk through the complete door. So it just kind of depends on you, what your journey where your journey takes you, but your soul is calling you to go on your journey. And we have Ace of Water, self-love, water energy. I tend to think of this as Pisces energy, but it's all the water signs, Cancer and Scorpio as well. Talks about self-love, the love of the Most High. As you can see, everything's abundant, flourishing, cup is overflowing. And when it comes to emotional self-satisfaction, because in that way, when you're happy and you're in your, even that scenario where you bought that motorcycle and you're feeling good, everyone else is feeling that good energy, okay? So maybe that's the pathway you're being inspired right now to take, and that's good energy. And you need to let something go, and you're being patient with yourself, okay? And then we have 4 of Earth and the 5 of Earth. So 4 of Earth, Capricorn energy, 5 of Earth, Taurus energy. So this talks about restrictions, budgetary concerns. This also, I like to also consider this like the keeping things to yourself, going on your own pathway, charting your own path. You see the ghost at the top of the mountain, kind of looking back, but it's by itself. Going on a solitary journey, keeping things to yourself because it's in your mental space. Some of you guys are thinking about budgeting and saving, but you don't want to tell other people about it, and that's probably for the best. Because if other people are not on that pathway with you and they're not going to go up the mountain with you, you got to leave them behind. And that's coming from the goat. Like, that's why it's the goat. It's like you got to get intuitive about, okay, who comes along and who needs to get left behind. Because the goat, you got to put on your own gas mask first before you can help somebody else. Otherwise, you end up with desolation, poverty, impoverished, cycles of poverty. As you can see, this person's working by themselves. There's these 2 animals here. This thing needs to get hauled off. That's Taurus energy, and this, you cannot contribute to the rest of the community. You see he's turning his back on the community, doing for himself. When Taurus energy, the bull is here like, hey, if you put this on me, I can lift this and chart this on. We are on a pathway here. and I could walk through the community and help out. That's that Taurus energy. Is they tend to be priests, pastors, community members, resources, working things like nonprofit organizations. But when you are so scarce for time, you don't budget yourself correctly, which Capricorns are great at. That's why they tend to climb up the ladder when it comes to success, because you have to know what to give your energy to and what to not give your energy to. And so if you feel like you wasted energy, okay, you wasted energy, and you could have created the desolation that you stand in, and now you have to walk this path alone, and it's a cycle, okay? Where are the community members helping out, okay? Where's the other people contributing? You have here a goat, and on the dry floor, just watching this person try to do everything by themselves, which creates the cycle of poverty. And then you have this bull that could be pulling this if this person asked for proper assistance and or decided that I'm in this place where it doesn't serve me. It's time for me to go on my own, okay? And 5 of water and undies and mermaids, okay? So undies and mermaids, high priestess energy, you can say, and 5 of water, Scorpio energy. It talks about regret and shame, embarrassment, repentance, okay? Because you can see he's drowning in the water and trying to use this little branch here to hold his head above water. Some of you guys are drowning in your own regrets. You have to repent and forgive yourself. And just know, like, this, he thinks this branch is keeping him up. When this branch snaps, he's going to drown. Versus just being at peace, going into the water, actually, and sitting at the bottom and meditating in a meditative format. Oh, I probably should have covered that. In a meditative format, and knowing that everything is going to be okay. Okay, like, the water ahead is you can see the waves up here may be turbulent, so you go under and you trust that everything's going to be okay, right? That's that kind of mermaid like energy, right? But you also have to be careful about other people like that are in this kind of undies and mermaid energy dragging you down, because they're very much aware of how to master and maintain that energy, and you're not. So while you're at the top drowning, they're at the bottom chilling, because they're like, well, I'll just let this person drown as long as I'm getting what I get. While they're drowning, all of their resources and things are falling to the bottom, and I'll just collect it there where I'm chilling. Okay? So you have to be careful. And we have 3 of fire. More Aries energy. It talks about foresight, passion, purpose, pathway, and you see here prosperity, making planning, preparation, things like that. So as long as you're in alignment, this is the soul, the spirit, and then the mind and the body are all in alignment. It creates what? Spiritual abundance, as I said. Then you can actually see the vision of how you can become abundant. And that abundance, see how big that bag is, can help and contribute to the whole community. Aries tend to be leaders who look out for multiple people, who look out for possibly even multiple households, light and fire and inspiration in multiple households, inspiration from multiple people. But if you don't have a vision and you can't execute on the vision, then you can never seem to actually quite get there, though you can see it. So the question is, you have to be more self-aware and do some introspection about how you can actually get there, because it may be something you're missing. You're not seeing correctly. Okay? Or you may need to alter